DV seems pretty constant, but you're getting periodic spikes.
It's a three-dimensional field. That's
Well,
interesting.
Yeah. Well, you do that with any. It's just picking it up on here, right? So you can see they're fairly consistent.
But you know why? I mean, I'm pushing out right now, literally because I bright they are right now compared to be each one plugged into the wall. We're looking at over 1,000 volts here. Like,
I don't know what your voltage drop across each is. You'd have to measure it individually and then add it up.
I don't have a voltmeter or 1,000 volts. A bag with 2 holes.
On the camera. I'm not picking up any. No, it's not picking it up.
Just for the people in the camera here, we're just doing some major tests and see if we can pick up any feel.
Just curious. No, I'm not picking up any frequency.
You know, when I was watching an old one last night, when they break down the electrons for transporting at Star Trek, you know, it looks exactly the same. Those lines you see in Star Trek and a new one. When before people disappear, they all turn into almost a sine wave.
Have you tried to put a spark gap in there at all?
I don't know. It takes roughly around about 2,000 volts to get over a spark gap on open air. Show people we can burn all those bulbs here. You will see the intensity. I'm going to bring it up to, and I can keep on going till everything burns up. So this generator is actually putting out a massive amount of energy. And this here, what kind of material that stone is? Yeah, it's a natural crystal, but it's phosphorant and it picks up energy and then it glows in the dark. So we're just trying to see if there's any feel. The phosphorant will pick it up. But if you look at the bar, I'm going to bring it down to break down the bar. And now you can really see the wave going through the tube before it will disconnect itself. And there again, I can crank it up, and I'm holding the wire, and I'm pushing up over 1,000 volts. And I was probably about 1,200 volts at the point in time, and I'm still holding up the wire. Now we're going to bring it down to a disconnection. The voltage drop, as you see, and then it's gone. And as it's gone, you see a brownish effect in the tube. Same thing with those bulbs. They have a brownish tint after inside the tube.
Not sure if I'm picking up anything. Now you should get something now. Okay, I'm just going to check that with this other one. I may not have it set properly. Let's see. Should be getting a reading there.
If you get a reading on that, I would get a shock when I rub the end of that bulb.
So you're not getting
Anything at all.
no field. No, actually, you know, 400 kilohertz.
See, we can fill because I got iron here, right? So I do have an iron flow, an electron flow. That's why my spark gap don't work over there. I have no electron flow for an open spark gap.
We definitely have it here. So it's just working fine. Actually, let me just leave that connected. Well, I got a help button.
Don't waste too much on that here. It's just save the video for the.
Yeah.
That's why it's not connected. Oh, maybe we should connect that one too.
Might as well.
Let me see. We'll put that one here. Yeah, I got a super duper coil. Because we used that one before and you recorded it. Okay. No, anything on that one.
Still got nothing?
Nothing. No.
You know, the star coil always picks up better than anything else. I don't know why I'm getting a reading now. See if I can get the lines on there. I can see what it is. You're seeing the wave, but you're not seeing the numbers. So let's go back to the oscilloscope.
It's me again. I'm back. Yeah, that one work actually, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do we get anything? Yeah. Even that coil's picking up from the light. So the old tester coil that does picks up stuff.
That's quite a setup you got there.
Hey, we're throwing everything at this thing beside the kitchen sink.
Hey, why don't you tell us right now again how much it's being used to run even this again, just as a reminder.
Yeah. 0 milliamp.
It shut down, you know, when I hit the auto, it shut down.
Auto.
I had it set, as soon as I hit the auto, it shut down. I pushed the auto, nothing on auto.
And then you go back.
So that was my problem. You know,
It was a setting though, but
it was just a setting.
so go ahead, Drew.
Well, if we disconnect the power, because the power goes through the milliamp meter, there's no difference on the much difference on the draw. And let me switch that just for the heck of it. Now, see, the whole system is actually running on 0 milliamp now. But I can set my volt if I want. Let my volt go up and down if I want, but I'm keeping it at 120 volts.
Yeah.
That's the output of the pump.
So there.
Oh well, I think you can show you what you're getting anyway. So we see right here, you're showing an electric field.
So you can put that, I think.
And you're showing a small,
Oh, hang on.
here.
Just put that there so you can set that in the top.
Well, you can see that, but
Maybe could do that again like this, yeah. Let's stick it, yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
it's not affecting the compass, but you have, you don't have much milligat, 1.32 milligauss, but you got 344 volts per meter, 165.6
No affected compass.
per meter, and that's constant. But it's not affecting the compass any.
You see the compass probably?
Yep.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Nice and clear.
So,
And then it's not centered, that's all.
okay, well we can move that here. How's that?
That makes a little difference.
Oh yeah. Can you see that?
If you get too close, it dies.
I should just hold it in the front here.
You know.
Yep.
Okay. So you got everything.
The frequency is a lot.
Yeah. Almost too hard right now. Oh, it's gonna hurt. But we know a good idea what's going on.
Compass not moving. Pad underneath the seat. Meter's picking up. What's it picking up on that meter?
Hertz. That's
Frequency.
Yeah, frequency here.
And the other one?
The other one is milligauss, volts per meter, and an RF millivolts milliwatts, sorry, per meter.
We all lost
So we lost the
everything.
meter now.
All right.
So it's milligauss, volts per meter, and it says millivolts. So let me just make sure we're on the right scale.
The volt went over well. Went over low.
Volts per meter is over 1,000, and
Yeah.
we got 0.13 micro Teslas, over 1,000 volts per meter, and 25.6 microwatts per meter squared.
Got it? All right.
So you're getting magnetic field, you're getting a volt, electrical
We're
field.
not getting magnetic field that doesn't affect the compass.
You're getting a magnetic field
Of
here
some kind.
on 3 axes, but it's very, very small. And it's just still reading it.
All right, so we did a whole bunch of tests with the instrument, and I got a friend of mine, we'll call him Mr. X today, and I'm going to let Mr. X explain what's your background on all this here.
Well, I've been trained in industrial electricity, electronics, motor winding, as well as mechanics and plastics and hydraulics and a number of others. Not relevant, but I have over 30 years experience with 3 axis, but it's very, very small. And it's still reading it. All right, so you're getting a magnetic field here on 3 axes, but it's very, very small. And it's just still reading it.
All right, so we did a whole bunch of tests with the instrument, and I got a friend of mine, we'll call him Mr. X today, and I'm going to let Mr. X explain what's your background on all this here.
Well, I've been trained in industrial electricity, electronics, motor winding, as well as mechanics and hydraulics and a number of others. Not relevant, but electric motors, generators, transformers, variable frequency drives, working with troubleshooting with harmonics and just a multitude of different mechanical and electrical problems.
Just about everything the industry can throw at you, you can pretty much, look into it and come up with what's going on there.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and what we've been doing, and especially coming up, like with no irons, using no irons on our generators. You ever see that anywhere?
Well, I've heard about it, but no, I haven't actually seen it. To see one I have with others that have tried this, they told me they were getting voltage, but no wattage out of it, no power. Just basically like a static voltage or something. But here, you're getting a consistent voltage, and you're getting some power out of it as well. Have to read exactly what that is, but I don't know how many watts you're getting out of it.
And when we're using the put that here. Well, we're using what do you call those little bulbs there? I've been using.
They're neon bulbs.
Neon bulbs, and I use that, and instead of a spark gap to remove the load, because even with the tube, if I energize the tube by itself, it will energize the tube, but it will bring my machine to a stall. My 60 volt 10 amp power drive, it will almost bring it to a stall. I can crank up the volt, it goes to maximum amperage, and soon I put those neon bulb into the line, in series. It removed total resistance or total breakage on the magnet from the coils, and I'm still manufacturing a shitload of energy to light up this neon tube. And then I know we're pushing, to keep the neon tube running, you need at minimum around about 570 volts to keep it running. As soon as you start dropping down, then the density of the neon goes down, and then it will cut off. But at full powers, I can energize it, and you can grab the end of the neon bulb, the wires, and you don't feel nothing. So I mean, I never experimented. I got shocked with neon. I got blown off in my ass a couple of times playing with neon box, and but this here is just unbelievable. The neon bulb works, and it goes. I mean, I can bring it back on. There we go. And here we go. I'm holding up the end of the wire again. Right? So, and those things, can you explain what a neon bulb is? I mean, the connection inside is it's just two little rods inside.
Yes, I would assume they're generating some sort of a plasma between the two. They're not making a positive connection like in an incandescent bulb.
Yeah, to me the plasma bulb, like the real name of it, would be a plasma bulb.
That would make sense. I have to research that. But.
And it seemed to take the resistance right off. So I'm gonna knock that off. I'm gonna go directly. I'm gonna knock that off. I'm gonna bypass the neon bulb. I'm gonna remove it out of the equation, right? And I'm gonna light up this thing, and you will see what the machine will do. I will power up, but it will bring that thing like to a stall, because I have to come up to about 700 volts to keep this thing up. Look at that, 10 amp. That's the maximum I can do.
That's on your input motor driving your generator.
Exactly, 10 amps. And I can bring, it's an interesting phenomenon also. When you see the light, I'm going to bring it down. Oh. I can't get it that one. But I mean, like, it takes so much amp on my unit. Now I'm going to disconnect that. Now there's nothing is connected. Just to turn that to where it's 3 point. Can you see that? It's 3. I'm not going to get out of the way. It's 3.28 volts to run that by itself. Okay. Now I'm going to reconnect the neon bulb. Now I'm going to restart it again and bring it back to 20 volt. While we sit, oh, there we go, now it's stabilizing. I'm still only taking 30, no difference in amp. We're talking about milliamp. And before I was drying that thing at maximum 10 amp. It removed the load right almost literally off the generator. This thing is noisy, right? So, I mean, if you disconnect, if you do a complete disconnection with the plasma bulb, because now you don't have any wire touching, you seem to take the brake right off the magnets. The coil's not feeding back.
Yeah, well, you are current limiting through your neon bulbs as well. So I don't know what your current is, because you blew up your ammeter.
On the wire here, I was getting 0.02 to 0.03 of an amp on the wire when my, oh actually, hang on, my ammeter, I got my spare one, which I can show you. And he will go down. But we added another bank of neon too, so can you see that?
Now, if you take your neon bulbs out of the circuit, what do you draw?
It would. Okay, let's do a try. So there we go. We'll do another test. Let's remove the neon bulb of the equation. All right. Let's crank it up. Now I'm drawing 10 amp, 0.35 of an amp. Can you see that? So that's the difference with the neon bulb and no neon bulb. But even that, the size of the wire, the 28.5 wire, it don't even get warm. But my big amp is going to blow fuse. She's overloaded. So I mean, like, you know, it's got something to say about, you know, the machine can produce amp. It can produce, you know, for what it does produce the high voltage. Now this is probably around about 1500 volt on maximum speed. I mean, I can crank it up to 60 volt and it's screaming at that point in time, because the bearing, they're from China again, can't find any good bearing around, and we're just into a point of trying to figure out what is going on, and that's what I have Mr. X here. He's got all kinds of tools in his oh, he's putting his calculator up. Just a minute. I'll be able to throw a number here.
Now you had 0.32 amps?
0.35 and 3/4. Yeah, 0.34. That's roughly around about 700 volts.
That's 238 watts.
So
you're generating with no magnet, with no
iron.
Iron.
Plastic casing.
Plastic casing.
Plastic
and
holders.
Stainless.
Pure stainless bulb to hold the coils.
Yeah.
The shaft is stainless steel.
No shock.
The
on this
rod
side.
is stainless steel. Everything is stainless steel and aluminum except the bearing.
Okay.
So we have absolutely a zero flow of electrons.
Now, what was the power supply?
My power supply is a 60 amp DC, 10 amp.
60
Yeah,
volt.
but you were putting 60 volts out,
Oh no, I didn't put 60 volt. I brought up to only about 32 volts
32 volts.
because I would burn all the neon bulb. I mean
What was your amperage? That was 3 point.
with the neon bulb, the difference between just driving the motor and powering that is roughly around about 2 milliamp. With the neon bulb, if you take the neon bulb out of it,
Yeah.
it cranked my amp all the way up to the maximum 10.62.
That's 339.84 watts.
Yeah.
So you're well, you're roughly getting 2/3 output from your input. The input was 1/3 more on directly to the neon bulb.
And when you connect directly no neon bulb, it just kill everything. It's creating a magnetic brakes on the magnet from the coil. But if you put iron, when I put iron here, it just puts so much draws on the magnet itself, and when you activate the coil, it just put a brake constantly, and your volt, it goes up and down, and my power supply go up and down, it goes.
You need to get a vacuum spark gap in there and try it instead of the neon bulbs,
Yeah, absolutely, just to try that out.
and to see if that's what you suspect. It's rather than the bulb's current limiting it, whether it's the spark gap.
Yeah.
Or
Well, the spark gap seemed to be, if the wire is not connected together, I don't have a resistance.
no, you don't have a load.
Right.
Your load is.
But I'm still transferring the volt from the plasma. The plasma is the one that seemed to be doing the magical thing here.
Yeah.
Right? And the plasma, like, as soon as you create plasma, it seems to be like that guy can move everything around with barely no effort. And that's another thing. I'm going to get I think tomorrow I'm getting a communication transformer for cellular phones, and I bet I'm going to find a vacuum spark gap in there, because I don't think you can create any communication without a plasma spark gap.
Well, that'll prove it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we go back to the old TV, right? All those light bulb, I mean, those vacuum tube, they all glow red, just like those neon bulbs.
Well, they have a heater in them. They have to heat them
Yeah.
up to excite the electrons.
But how did they heat it? On a straight connection or with plasma?
They're just a straight 6 or 8 volt DC input.
Oh, okay.
6.3 or no, depending on
Yeah.
the tube.
But put it this way, I mean, like, what you see right now is that they defeat the word physics.
Well, there's some interesting happenings here. Especially, I've had some experience with your other coil where we've got no electron flow and freezing up a lot of digital meters, shutting them down, and you have to re-energize them to get them to go again.
Yeah.
So you're stopping the electron flow.
Because I can stop. I showed that I can stop. I can put a scale, digital scale, and put my weight on it, and then start the machine. Take the weight off. The weight stays there, and you cannot make the weight move anymore. Everything is frozen. It's all on the scale. You got to turn it off, and then after a couple of seconds, the scale comes back to zero. So you're freezing literally the electron in the circuit.
Yeah, it appears so.
But anyway, I just want to have a second opinion. That's what I brought Mr. X here, and seemed to be to have the most knowledgeable and crazy enough to come and try all this stuff and bring his instrument here. And you know, that's what we got right now. So do you want to say anything more about what's going on?
Only that when we added the spark gaps, your frequency went up considerably.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you started out with about 300 hertz.
And then you go up to the 200 kilohertz, 250 kilohertz, yeah.
And you ended up with 3 spark gaps adjusted. We're getting up to almost a gigahertz in frequency.
In frequency, yeah. When that was the last time we tried it together, it was 995,000, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the spark gap seems to be the one they multiply. You know, every time you add a spark gap, you know, you can only go so far also with a generator, because past 3 spark gap, then he started to go down again. So it was a limit of what we could do.
Yeah, even with 3, you had to adjust 2 of them very, very close.
I mean, I had 3 literally connected like this, right? And we had to have the other one fairly tight together, and the one in the middle really, like, you know, I would say an eighth of an inch. You know, and then you really get the high frequency out of it.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of power, a lot of volt to run an open spark gap compared to the neon. I mean, a neon kicks in at roughly around about 700 volts. Those ones don't kick in for about close to 2,000 volt, 1,500 volt plus before they will kick in. So I mean, it's the atmosphere seems to be it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Tesla was always working with vacuum tubes with gas in it. Now neon, I'm trying to get something made up. I'm going to have to go to Richmond to get some neon bulb, but just with straight helium instead. Nothing else but helium, because helium have a very factor about resonance. It lights up. That's how Tesla was lighting up all his bulb in the field. He had a wire cut up, digging 4 feet deep into the ground. He was running high frequency, and soon you put the light bulb, or you're walking with the light bulb over where the wire was buried 3, 4 foot down the ground. He's picking up the resonance, and the light bulb pick up. It just light right up. And that was one of his big trick he was doing with Tesla. You know, he did a lot of shows, you know, to show it was transmission. It was a wireless transmission of energy, which it was resonance, literally. That's all it could actually move. And the body don't feel resonance, because we're living in a world of resonance. Our cell, person, I mean, we are resonating to all different levels. I mean, we 85% water, so we're talking about a capacitor and resonance, right?
Oh yeah, we have 200 quintillion cells all resonating at different frequencies.
At different frequencies, exactly. So resonance doesn't affect us, because we are part of the resonance field.
Although they are having problems. There's a new medical term they've got coming out there for problems with all these fields that we're in, and it's affecting.
Always affecting, yeah. I believe so, and I don't think, like, you know, I test all the smart meter. I got tons of smart meter now and stuff like this, and there's no radiation coming out, but we have resonance. Like, I find out, like, with my tri-field, magnetic radiation do not exist, literally. I mean, you know, if a magnetic field create, and when you got those magnets, I mean, the 52 Gauss, something like that.
Yeah, you're at low. Yeah, but when you get into the really high frequency, then you got your microwaves and your gamma rays.
That's right.
Then you're getting radiation.
But I'm not getting any microwave whatsoever. I test for microwave, and I test for normal radiation, and I test for everything. There's nothing there. So, but you know, this is all stuff. You know, I'm to the point. This stuff have to be tested into a lab who's got some massive amount of equipment, with a really well shield for resonance, because it will affect their instrument. If you have a computer, it will affect smartphone, it will get affected, camera get affected. The only thing so far is my phone, my flip phone never get affected with nothing. I mean, this thing is like old technology. So we're going to shut it down, because we're running out of time on our card here for the camera, but you know, that's just a little bit of information for everybody to look at it and scratch their head, and you know, maybe you can send me some comment and let me know what you think it is, and like I say, you know, if you're not sure what it is and you'd like to test it, email me, and we'll set up a date. You can come up here and bring your equipment with you and hook it up and see what you think. 4.2 amp at 25 volts.
4.2 times 25.
And then I'm going to disconnect it just to run the motor, see what the
That's
motor.
105. It's 105 watts.
Okay, now I'm just going to run the motor. 3.2 amp.
3.2 times 25.6. 80 point. So it's taking 25 watts to run for the load.
Then I'm going to rehook that. So it's 2. It varies. It goes up, heats up, and as soon as it heats up, it starts going down. See, 60. It was probably still around about 60 and 70. 3.6, 3.7.
Okay, we'll just go with the high one just to be sure. 3.7 times
20, the volt is the same thing, 25.6.
93.09 watts.
And that's the difference on the bras.
Minus the 105.
But when you don't put those neon there, it's really pulling up the amp.
Yeah, because they're limiting it. But we have to determine, I'm not sure the neon bulbs, whether it's just plasma is that effect, or what exactly
I think
is
it's the
happening?
plasma effect that does it. The plasma can transfer the power. Like when you get the big bulb, there will be a little bit more plasma in there. I think if you didn't
You
increase,
should be able to see them. They're quite a bit. They're about this size from
Oh,
what
really?
yeah.
that's going to be a big difference, I think. Alright, this is just a video to show you how the generator is made, and obviously there's no iron into it. Those are pure stainless steel, and as you can see, look at the size of the wire. They're 28.5 triple dip for high voltage, and I got 1,000 wrap per coil. And the coil are tied up, and they arrange them at the 2 coil, their arm is straight up, and 2 other coil, the crisscross, the arm, the crisscross. And here is the 4 magnet, the red one the north, the white one the south, and that's all aluminum. That's pure stainless steel shaft. The only thing is actually steel is the cheap bearing from China, which that's all we can find today. Square ball bearing, and I call them square ball because they make noise all the time. So I'll put that back together, and I'll show you how that thing runs. The motor drive, you can see it here. It's a little pancake DC motor, 36 volt. So we're going to line up those things. It's kind of tricky sometimes, but I'm getting pretty good at it. Again, just push everything down. Nothing like a hammer to fix things up. So we're going to plug that up. Go. Now here's the power supply. So I'm going to bring that to 0, turn it on. Can you see I'm spinning? Right, you can hear the sound, the thing is spinning. I'm pushing 19 volt. At 2000, at 20 volt right now, the motor is spinning this thing at 3600 RPM. So we're going to bring that back to 0. Now I'm going to connect, as you see again, tiny little wire. And then I'm going to connect this other one at the other side, the tiny little wire. Okay. Now, those are neon bulb. They're all connected in series. Each one's 120 volt, two's 240, and so I'm making, like, I'm connecting for I can run over 400 volt into it. If you push 400 volt, which this thing will produce over 1000 volts, probably around about 12 and 1300 volts, and those bulbs would burn. I would have to put if I get the guys bringing more bulb, about 30 of them, see if we can run that thing at maximum capacity without turning. Those bulbs, they're literally, they call that neon bulb. They're actually plasma bulb. Nothing is touching in between the two electrodes. You have to be a massive amount of resonance for them to react. So I mean, when they react at 120 volts, it's because you get some resonance on 120 volt, and one will turn off. Now we have a neon bulb with argon gas and also mercury. It's got tiny little bit of mercury inside, like a very tiny little amount to react. So what we're going to do, if I connect that here, it load up the generator. Even with no iron, you put a magnetic brakes on the magnet. So the coil reversed herself and put a magnetic brake. So I'm going to relieve the magnetic brake with those ones. They replace the spark gap. They're way more efficient than the spark gap. So that's what I'm going to replace. I'm going to use that. I'm going to hook that up into the line. I'm going to bring it like this, so they really glow, and they get, you can burn those things. They're just like an oven. When you turn the element, they go red, right? So now I have to crank it up for probably around about 600 volt to get to react that 400 volt reaction here and this here. And when it's react, I can turn it back on, back down, but I don't know, we're going to turn some light down a little bit so you get a better effect, right? So let me turn this thing on. Now you can see, moving the other side. See, now those bulbs that get way more than 600, I'm going to burn it, so I'm going to bring it down. So I got about 500 volt going into it right now. They're very bright and they get hot. Now I'm pushing over 500 volts. The fluorescent is working. I mean the neon's working, right? Now listen, look what I'm going to do now. It's 500 volt here. I don't wear a suit. I don't wear special shoes. For all the idiot out there, right? Should you touch this wire, this bare wire on the end of a tube?
No.
Right? There it is. No electrons. This volt I'm producing have absolutely no electrons. If there was electrons in it, I'd be in my ass in the back of the garage. And I have barely no draws. That's the draws to run this motor. Right? Now I'm going to disconnect this side, and you will see only a few milliamp. See the drops? Now I'm going to crank it back up. See, 330, you know, bounce it back and forth. Now I'm going to reactivate it. Back to 20 volts. So we have no draws. It creates no draws on the motor itself. Period. And I'm talking to you holding over 500 volts. So this is the big mystery right now, because I think since we don't have the iron, the only thing I'm using in the iron, which is, if people say the magnet, they have iron in it. Yes, Einstein, the magnet have iron, but the field of the magnet is just like a guitar pick against all the wire in a coil. They're the one that create the resonance because they're solid. They're not in motion. They're solid, but they do stretch with gyro. If you look at, for example, I'm going to show you something. Let me get my meter. I'm going to go directly to microwave, radio microwave, absolutely zero. I will have electric, whichever electric means, right? Because something is moving. Magnetic, I went to the 100, 0 to 100, of course, because the magnet, you know, they have a field. Now I'm going to turn this thing off again. If that was true magnetic field we were picking up with the stripe field, then the magnet, those powerful magnets, when they don't turn, they still would show up, you know, a field here. But what I'm saying is, look, nothing. It's a very, because I'm moving. If I don't move it, we have a slight leakage in the system because the coil right now, they're charged. But if I go away, right, it goes to zero. Okay, now I'm going to start this again, and I'm not even going to activate that. Now I got all over the place the field expand from the magnet. See, as the field, you're getting closer, it expands. Now if I turn that off, I have nothing here. So the field, it's just, when you spin the magnet, it reacts with G-force. That's what I'm trying to explain here. So this is just a little video, you know, I'm putting out here for people to look at it. This thing have no electron whatsoever. So at that point in time now, you know, we're just playing with. I got a friend that's coming up with an instrument. I just burned my my voltmeters and hertz and all that. That's another $500 in the garbage, because now we need instrument. We cannot connect to wires. We're playing with very high volt, and we're playing with stuff. It doesn't work with the normal equipment, so we have to use now literally antenna sensor to be able to pick up all the stuff out. And now at that point in time, I'm running to the end of my wits, so I'm pretty much going to stop up the research. I got to go back to work to make a living so I can eat tomorrow. And yeah, I won't bug anybody anymore about this thing for a while, because the research, well, it's going to a dead stop. So I got maybe you know, this weekend to do research, and after that I'm gonna go and get myself a job, because I can't afford that anymore for people to watch, you know, and say, yeah, good thing to go and stuff like this. Now it's down to the point it's costing too much money. I went through in the last 2 years with the travel and all that, you know, close to almost $200,000 in research. And so, but just to tell you, what they tell you is not true. Everything we're seeing, what they say in the book, it doesn't work that way. It's a total lie. So, I mean, how the hell can I hold down 500 volts in the end of a neon bulb? And I have no transformer here to run this neon bulb. This is my transformer, 4 little neon bulb, right? So I mean, like, you know, I already screw up all the science around the world saying, like, you know, how can it be possible? How can it be possible? You know, but it is. I'm making it happen. So I just, like, you know, let you know what's happening. So if anybody want to duplicate that, be my guest. That cost me about $3,200 to build. So yeah, knock yourself out there. Take some money out of your mattress, your socks, and your bank account, because you ain't going to be worth shit like tomorrow anyway. And play with that and see. You cannot electrocute yourself. As you can see, I was holding this thing, you know. I'll crank it back up. I don't want to burn those bulbs right away, so I'm going to bring it down to a manageable voltage, right? So that's 500 volt what you see here in capacity in those bulbs. So 500 volts, and I'm holding on to the wire. Oh, by the way, if you don't think that, you know, my finger I'll put a little spit on it to make sure I got good connection. I feel nothing. Either I'm dead or the world of science is full of shit. One and the other. So there we go, guys. You know, that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Someone's going to have to pick up the flag and start running with it, because I can't afford to do it anymore. On that point in time, you guys have a good day, and we might see it next generation. See ya. All right, we forgot to put some reading for all the idiot up there. This, oh, there again, there's no reading and stuff like that. What I blew up my, I burned my meters. Here's the size of the meter where it's burned right out, right? So that was my old guy there, my ideal. So that's gone. I don't make any volt. I'm sure burning a lot of stuff. But anyway, here's a small analog, 300 volts, right? So the volts are real. Now I'm going to start it. I'm going to bring it up. Now I got 100 volt coming out of it, 200 volt. I'm going to bring it to 300 volt. At 300 volt, I'm only putting in 13 volt into the motor. So we do have real volt. That's an analog meter. So for me to be able to touch the end of that tube, when I'm running over 500 to 600 volt on that tube, I should have a hell of a shock, right? So I just want to make sure what I'm doing is I got real volt, and you know, it's not fake. Because if it was just a static volt, that meter would not react whatsoever. So, and also I want to show you what I was working on the this. Here, let me move that. This is what I'm working with as a transformer. And I think a lot of people saw that. It's a 10 kV. It's dual voltage. I had the unit actually sparking all over the floor yesterday. I could get at least almost close to an inch of spark on the concrete, because my transformer is touching the concrete. It's not insulated, and I was not grounded properly. But I could power that. I power it with my small machine. I can make plasma with this transformer. But to be able to get 60 hertz, so that's what I'm making, is a chopper. And a chopper is a drum we spin the contact. That's solid copper. That's going to get all filled up with a compound with its conduction. And then I'll be able to slide a set of brush high voltage brush will contact together that way, and then when the finish is no more contact, and then when it goes back, it's contact. So you spin that 3600 RPM, and it gave you exactly 60 hertz. And as you can see, that's the little pancake motor again I'm using. So I'm just in the process of building that. And then I'm gonna make a double set of brush on that one. Those they're brush for amperage. You know, I can pump, you know, close to 1,000, over 1,000 amp in those brushes. They come from a commercial starter for heavy duty equipment. And they will be on that side, and those two will be dragging on the outside when is needed. If my high voltage system need to be repaired, I can put a set of battery, 12 volt battery at 1,000 amp each, and run this, because that's a DC motor. We can run that up, and this guy, you can run your whole house through 10 batteries. 12 volt batteries give you 120 volt, and this will run it. It will run. The copper is thick enough. It will take the heat, because the heat doesn't go around. Now Tesla had his brush like this, would create a ring of fire, and he had to put a third brush to stop the ring, to dump that in the ground. If he would have put his brush side by side, he wouldn't have that problem. So that's why I went with a cylinder. It's mechanical, maybe a little crude, but it does the trick. It does exactly 60 hertz. So that's
beautiful.
That's going to be on process. It's in process of being finished now. So I just got that made up. I shrink everything up solid on those plastic bar. I'm going to fill those holes up with a special. I have to drill a whole bunch of holes to keep the compound in, and then we'll remachine the whole thing nice and smooth, and then the brush will be able to ride on that, you know, no problem. So yeah, that's my last little project. You know, I've been doing, waiting for and stuff like this, but like I said before, the fun is not there anymore. So I'm just gonna try to pay those bills of all those parts, been machined from my machinist, and then we'll take it from there. That's about it. That's the end of the end game here. That's the end of it. So that's the last thing I'm going to be working on it to finish it off. But I know I already did the function and the calculation and the rotation. 36 is the magic number. You know, you do 36, you got 2 hits per turn, right? So you got your 60 hertz per second.
Bloody shame to get so close.
Oh well, that's the way life goes, right? You know, you work all your life, and you die just before you see it. So I'm no different than other people. So that's it, man. That's all I got. Catch you later.